Pretty sure somebody.
other than yourself.
Yes, and there's a live. It appears we are live.
Good morning and welcome everyone back again to another episode of the Health Class You Never Had with the Chi, known as the Collective Health Initiative. We are proud to be back with you to again share information and our perspective on various health topics and from a holistic point of view. So I am Clarice, your hostess for this morning, creator of Natural Body Care Products, a company rooted in nature. And I want to remind everyone that we are not medical physicians. The information that we share on the show is only for educational purposes and it's for you to explore and take charge of your health, your personal path to a better health and wellness, and for you to live your life in the healthiest way possible. So I am going to um, move things along to our featured presenters and speakers today. We have Mama Elaine Williams. She is our breathologist and yoga practitioner. Mama Elaine.
Greetings, Sister Claire, Collective Health
And then,
Initiative.
oh,
Looking so forward to the show today, Managing Your Chi. We've got good news for you. Welcome, Sister Clarice.
awesome. And then along, with us, we also have Precious Mother Love, our sacred arts curator. Precious Mother Love, you want to say good morning to everybody? Okay, we're going to move on to Master Shep, our comedic warrior priest and metaphysics practitioner that who is also a part of the team. Good morning, Shep.
Indeed, good celebration to all, Hotep and wholeness. And welcome again to another episode of the Health Class You Never Had as we flow on this journey together in wholeness.
All right, and hopefully, Precious Mother Love will be able to get back with us soon. And today we are so the topic for today is about managing your inner chi. We also refer to that to energy, managing your energy, and work play on words. That also the chi also refers to your inner energy, energy within your spirit, your soul, yourself. All right, and so we're going to open up the discussion with Mama Elaine and her perspective and what she has to present today on managing your inner chi.
Thank you, Sister Clarice. The first thing we want to talk about is why does it matter that we manage our energy and our inside chi? Why does it matter? Doing a day's work, there's only a certain amount of time in each day. And each of us are balancing how we spend the time, and consciously. We wouldn't have a really extended period of work without a balancing period of play and still be balanced. We schedule things such that the time is distributed such that everything that's important to us gets done. Of course, that's what we strive for, and that's managing the element that we've been given of time. When we talk about inner chi or even energy, we have that same balancing act going on. Being mindful that we do, that balancing act with energy speaks to how much of my energy should I give to this, to that, or to the other. And when we talk about inside, that same principle, the principle of managing time wisely and managing what we give to each part of what we need to do, our that energy can be associated with what happens inside of one's self. When thinking about what's happening inside of oneself, there is a stability when centered. The inner chi, inner energy, is flowing with the chakras. There's a movement taking place and a coordinated movement all the way around all of the sections of our being. Around the way we flow in the kitchen, moving from one place to the other, making sure everything is happening in the sequential order it needs to happen. And managing that chi or energy inside allows us to feel that we are balanced or not. I want to bring you an alternative situation. When we talk about managing our inner chi, it occurred to me to share with you what happens when you fail to manage your inner chi. Being a cradle Catholic, I've heard that a haughty spirit goes before the fall. And what I have experienced is that there's a shakiness that if you are breathing and you are conscious, aware, and mindful of how you feel, you'll detect the movement of that inner chi. We talk later about amplifying the inner chi, because if the movement is a good one, it's vibrant, it's healthy, it's encouraging, then you want to amplify that. We'll leave that part to one of my colleagues. What I want to share with you is that I've noticed that that balance is out of sequence for me. In this time, I'm balancing more than I know I can handle, so I've got to figure a way past, present, and future to rebalance. If you think about driving, you're going where you're going, but you have to move from one side to the other. One side to the other. There's a little movement to the right and to the left, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. In the past, first of all, our words create our reality, and that is true for the past, because how we define what has happened speaks to how we are present to it right now, what happened in the past. So our present delivery of what it is, what did happen, is affected. Our present attitude is affected by the way we see what did happen. We can see it in a negative light, or we can see it in a positive light. Some call it half empty or half full. And speaking into the future, what I will do with what I have seen, what I am doing, and what I perceive in my vision is all a part of this present time and the energy that I put into it. So without further ado, as a yoga instructor of many years, as a breathologist of many years, as a mom, and all the hats that we wear, not just me, we wear many hats. Bringing those to a place of repair is what I am interested in talking about because I'm feeling an out of balance. Could be that the stress needs managing, could be that some of my disciplines have disappeared, could also be that I missed a cue that says it's time to grow. Failed. Could that have happened to you as well? Could you have found yourself in a place where you need repair? You need an ICU of sorts, some kind of care that many would perceive as weak, some kind of repair that you're aware of because you are aware of your inner chi as I am. I want to offer you my repair plan, future, my journey back to wholeness. How often does it happen? Not very. During this season of confinement, I realized that one of the things I did to keep my own balance was to teach. And that teaching of my way of doing comedic yoga kept me balanced. It would bring me back to the present no matter how far I went away. It was because there was a practice. COVID stopped all that, left me kind of on my own. Now, the discipline can continue if I'm disciplined. Do you practice or do you just know? Lots of times, my biggest challenge is knowing, not knowing that I don't know. Do you ever have that? I mean, if you knew you didn't know, you'd know what to do. So without further ado, I want to share with you what I'll do in the future to regain my posture of practice. I'm going to let you in when you come to the Collective Health Initiative on the things that I will do. I'm currently experiencing something called frozen shoulder. Text me if you put something in the chat. If you've experienced it too, it's very painful. It allows me to lift my arm only about this high. And I'll be coming back from that on our video. I'll be returning to wholeness and balance in bringing the things that need to be brought to the light right there. I don't want to take too much time because I know there's some interesting things coming up. So at this time, I'd ask you to text in if you are interested in following that. And if I get enough text, I will certainly make sure it's worth your while to come and see. There'll be breathology. There'll be what things I do, whatever they are, to come back into full balance and wholeness. Thank you. Looking forward. Peace, balance, and blessings. Back to you, Sister Clarice, as our hostess for the day. Unmute yourself. Sister Clarice, say it again. I want to hear what you said. Unmute yourself.
I am so sorry. Thank you, Mommy Elaine. That is an awesome presentation about balancing energy and how to, from a yoga perspective, deal with that past, present, and future balance. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested in knowing how to deal with that frozen shoulder issue when it comes to stagnant energy. That stagnant energy that manifests within the body. We're going to pass the mic on over to Master Chef, and he's going to give his talk and discussion on energy from a metaphysics perspective. Take it on, Master Chef.
Right on, right on. Give thanks, Sister Clarice. So, yes, from the metaphysical perspective, my person will simply share on its perspective and experience on what is energy, three areas in which my person looks to manage its energy, and certain lifestyle practices that allows my person to increase its energy. First off, what is energy from my person's perspective? Well, inner chi, my person sees as our own individual chi, like our own personal little, own little energy of the universe. Because when my person refers to chi, use the word chi, my person is referring to the subtle energies that they say make up, create, and sustain the universe. In other words, my person looks at chi. Another word name for it may be prana, ki, breath of life, Holy Spirit, Ra, Kundalini energy. Nonetheless, some the more. My person sees this energy as the energy that allows the electron to go around the nucleus of the atom. In science, they tell us that most of us have been taught that in science, Western science, that the entire universe is made of energy, even those things we call physical. Even the physical body, everything comes back down to the atoms. They say if you magnify anything solid to the millionth or something degree, that you will come to the atom. There's like a solar system. There's a center with a nucleus, and then there's a electron going around it. And one has a positive charge, one has a negative charge. Long story short, again, my person looks at this energy that causes the electron to go around its chi. Again, it sustains everything. So again, our energy is our own specific access, our own chi access to this chi that we use for our own individual creations. Now, with that, how does my person look to manage his own inner chi? Well, there's three areas which my person focuses on. There are infinite ways to do it. My person focuses on three. One is rest, the other is sex, and the other is experiences. What my person means is that we all can somewhat relate to what happens when we have what they call lack of rest or sleep deprivation, being deprived of sleep or being deprived of rest. We're saying that the body is deprived of that time to rejuvenate, recharge. The same as we have a cell phone for the most part, or anything that needs to be charged up. Any one of these devices that we use, we have to put it on the charge. Otherwise, we say, "Oh, my phone is about to die. It's dead." So we have to charge it up so it can, do what it do. And that's the same when it comes to rest. Rest is one of the ways in which we can just simply charge up. In a sense, it's like plugging back in energetically to a source so that we're plugged in and become charged up. So we come out once again, present itself to the world. So one thing my person looks to do is get acquire good quality rest. Simple as that, good quality rest. There was a time my person used to subscribe to the circadian rhythm for a number of years. And that simply looks like at a certain time in the evening, my person, before the sunset, will generally stop its last meal of the day, at least a large meal, and prepare its wind down as the sunset, which is an entire ritual. And then we will rest, allow the body plenty of time to heal, do what it needs to do during the midnight hour, as they say, so that once my person arrives, it breaks its fast with water and ease into its day. Nonetheless, something more, specifically talking about rest. Because of certain situations now, my persons look to get more quality maybe during the day. So naps here and there, a little time to just take a siesta, because resting is very important to recharge when it comes to energy management for my person. Again, our own energy that we use for creation and procreation, which in a nutshell, this is how my person sees the use of its inner chi in this way for this class. Because in short, what we're simply talking about is emotions at the same time. However, from the context of inner chi management or emotional management, my person is speaking from that context. And with that, moving on to the second way in which my person looks to consciously manage his chi is through sex, sexual intercourse. Through my own person's own experience, we realize that even the intercourse is not itself. Once done, there's a certain drainage that my person experience, and most men will probably feel the same thing because we're giving up our essence. Generally speaking, we have an orgasm. Not so much for the women because they're receiving it. However, the women may experience it on the back end, sort of say, more so than men, which is that attachment kind of thing. And the way it looks is this. Generally speaking, when it comes to sex, the man releases, gives up his energy. He feels somewhat drained or lack of energy. Has to do something to rejuvenate. Women is not so much on the front end, it's more on the back end. Now that they experience, because of the emotions, there's some sort of attachment, there's some sort of feeling that goes, with the experience. And generally speaking, if that is reciprocated, if a certain feeling is reciprocated, that is more harmonious. But those times when it's not, as in, falling in love or giving your energy up to someone who just don't give a darn about you, that's energy leakage all day. Nonetheless, some the more when it comes to sex, it is a major way for us to have an energy leakage if we're not mindful. Because there's too much sex anyway. Again, there's all the energy of the universe in a sense just being gone. Again, my person looked at this energy, our energy, as a reflection of the large chi. My person like to say the little bang of the big bang, especially when it comes to having that orgasm. All this energy that we have to create things is boom, going out. So my person looks to be mindful of how it engages in sex. And these days it's not as often. And even when it comes to what we call maybe self-pleasure, masturbation, my person uses a technique where it so-called ejaculates, press the so-called $1 million point, and allow that energy to be reused, revitalized, by the body. So it works if you work it, as they say. And the third area which my person looks to focus on managing, maintaining its energy so there's no leakages is within its experiences. And so generally speaking, as my spoken person speaks about, say in herbs and tantra, all of our experiences has an effect on us. We can go someplace, the people that we're around, and we can leave feeling drained. We can have a conversation with someone, leave feeling drained. It don't even have to be an argument. Sometimes arguments and heated discussions, we would definitely feel drained afterwards. But even aside from that, just sometimes just the environment in of itself can, you know, be draining on us. And it generally comes from my person's experience with these experiences is that when we hold on to the need to change, there is this wonderful prayer called the Serenity Prayer, which my person has been subscribing to for years. So the Serenity Prayer simply states that God, Mother, Father, God, grant me the uh, wisdom, no, grant me the courage to change the things that I can. Grant me the peace to accept the things that I cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. Sounds simple enough. Those things that we can do something about, we use our inner chi to do something about. Those things we cannot do something about, if we accept it, then we're not expending our energy to change something that we're not going to change. And this acceptance from my person looks at when my Mother used to tell my person growing up, we've all kind of heard this. When people show you who you are, believe them. Because we all wired a certain way. And once people show you who they are, how they're wired, we believe them and accept them for who they are, and then we can deal with them accordingly. However, sometimes if people show us who they are, and yet we're holding a different perspective and saying, "Hey, this is who you are," but no, we want you to be this way, and work to change that person to be that way. Whether it be a person, place, or thing, whether it be an organization, a corporation, or a government. We're all designed to do certain things. Everything has a form and a function. Everything has a job to do. But my personal energy management, just to kind of speak on the so-called one of the elephants that may be in the room, is the so-called politics, government, and this the trumped up politics that we're all observing. My person holds the vibration that, again, these things taught growing up. If you start with a lie, you got to keep the lie going. And, everything after that is pretty much lies. So if someone come at you with a lie, and everything after that, you begin to say, there's a lot of lies going on, then evidently it shows that that person is a liar. And, how much can they be trusted? And for example, if we look at the way this country was, began, if it was so-called not on the up and up, it was some deceit, as they say, some in the nature of kill, steal, and destroy. So if these things are in place, kill, steal, and destroy at the beginning, and we can see that they have to go on to kind of keep these things going, and that's an indication of the type of being, individual, or organization we're dealing with. Or at least that spirit, the vibration of acceptance. It is what it is. Once we know what it is, we can say, okay, cool. We can use our energy in a certain way instead of looking to change and want to rah rah rah. Yeah. For my person, that's an energy leap. So what it has done is that created a lifestyle to actually increase its energy. Because basically, again, looking at the perspective of our own individual energy, from my person's perspective, in this context, we're looking to create, procreate, or recreate. At this stage of the game, my person has been around the sun 48 times, and we're not looking to procreate. So all my person's energy is looking to recreate. So looking at how to not have these energy leakages is one thing, so that the energy is not just going out here, going out there. So when it's time to recreate what it is that comes to my person's heaven, it is right here. The energy is here to recreate it. Like the little bang of the big bang, boom, it's right there. And so again, there's also a lifestyle my person uses to cultivate, to increase its inner chi, which is a person calls the essence of oneness. And again, giving a shout out to my person's brother, soul brother, colleague, breath master Aaron Motley, for his introduction of the essence of one, which in essence is pretty much the same. My person added the ness to the end because my person finessed it to its own specific lifestyle. And the essence of one is simply the essence of oxygen, nutrition, and exercise. ONE, oxygen, nutrition, and exercise. And when one person speaks about the essence, it is making reference to the chi. Yes, the chi that is contained with each. For example, my person has a lifestyle of working with the breath and breathing. My person realizes that as it breathes deeply, rhythmically, meditatively, that allows my lungs to extract the chi that is contained within the oxygen that is breathed in through this physical body. So as we breathe in air, not everything is not 100% oxygen. There's a lot of other things in the air that we breathe. However, if we breathe with the proper intention, it happens automatically anyway. With the proper intention, as we breathe deeply and rhythmically, we can actually extract this chi of the universe that's contained in oxygen from the lungs. The essence of one is oxygen, which also brings up water, which is a bridge to the nutrition, because in water there is oxygen. And of course, water has so much to do with hydration, you know. At the same time, oxygen is there. And again, my person like to emphasize on, those who are into creating your own water, to, charge your own water, elixify it, what have you. Nonetheless, some of the more oxygen, water, the essence of one and oxygen. Again, that's a bridge to nutrition. Nutrition, as a metaphysician, comes in two forms: physical and, of course, metaphysical. Physical nutrition, we've all familiar with the foods that we eat. My person is a stickler for herbs, generally the roots, the fruits, and the leaves of plants. And of course, when it comes to metaphysical food, my person looks at, again, what thoughts does my person entertain? Thoughts that would either serve as wholesome thoughts, and as well as wholesome experiences, whereas my person feels confident, energized, and ready for some action. Or do my person entertain thoughts that are like, wow, don't want to do anything, stagnated. So again, the thoughts is a form of nutrition. So my person looks to maintain high vibrating thoughts as well as with the exercise. With the exercise, similar to high blood pressure. High blood pressure, most of us are familiar that high blood pressure comes from the amount of pressure that is needed to pump blood through because of certain blockages or stagnation. Metaphysically speaking, we have energy channels that flow from head to toe, energy meridians, organ meridians. And some say that the cause of all disease, most diseases, not all, is blockages that tend to manifest physically. So what exercise does is promotes the movement of this energy so it's not as stagnant. So there's less chance for disease. When the energy is flowing, is moving, and it's vibrating high, it is there to be used. If it's not flowing, then it's not there to be used, then it's not there to use. So again, between the essence of one with exercise, we're looking at how to move in such a way that we're freeing up the stagnation, the blocked energies, things that are blocking the energy, so the energy is flowing. Again, it's kind of like this also affects the heart, because cardiovascular exercises. What happens is, as we do a little cardiovascular exercise and then go back to our regular routine, this ebb and flow allows for the circulation to block any blockages in the blood. As we relax, the blood is flowing freely. Again, the same thing happens when we exercise. Certain exercise, specifically like qigong and tai chi, even yoga, because these exercises are specifically designed to open up these energy channels and promote the flow of this energy so the energy is right here to use. So again, in a nutshell, my person's look on inner chi and inner chi management is that how can this being, my person, maintain, like without any major leakages, this energy of the universe, this energy that created the universe, this big bang energy, this again in inside of here. So how can my person harness this energy to reduce some of the leakages by looking at sex, rest, and experiences, right? And then as we maintain this energy, how to build it up so that when it's time to create, the law of attraction says that hold the vibration that will come. If the energy is not there to hold the vibration, then what are we holding? See, then it takes a longer time for it to come. So this is my person's, sharing its experiences on its perspective of energy management and what it does to alleviate some of the leakages and to build up its energy. And so give thanks for allowing my person to share. And when it comes to affirmations or mantras, affirmative with the affirmations. Yes. And as a little segue, my person has this book called the Emotional Wellness Workbook. In the back, there's this chart, right? And what my person has done was, in a sense, personified the personification of the energies of the so-called chakras. Meaning my person used the Kemetic tree of life, specifically the deity system of Kemet, ancient Egypt, the deity system, kind of like the archangels of Christianity, these beings, and superimposed them over the chakras and worked with them over the years to come up with a system so that when my person worked with a particular area of his being, the affirmation is in regards to what is happening within. For example, we were talking about fear, the root chakra. My person looks at if it has anything about fear going on, the organs of kidneys, will say, I have everything I need. As a child of God, seek, be anxious for nothing. God looks out for everything. Mother, Father, God looks out for everything. Food, clothing, and shelter. It will be here. We will be taken care of. So it's kind of going back to the Mother, Father, God in this perspective. The sacral chakra, the energy of creation, which we're talking about here, with the inner chi, is come from the second chakra, the sacral chakra. And for my person, how does it use its joy? You know, what get excited about it? Because if we get excited, we're saying, okay, boom, excited. We're going to bring this to us. When we get emotion, we bring these things to us, emotions, whatever you're excited about. So my person looks to get excited for living its truth. That's why my person uses that energy of the sacral chakra and this affirmation. Get excited for living truth. Living truth is my joy. Then the solar plexus chakra, that Mars energy, Herakahuti, Ogun, karma, cause and effect, baby. It will bring some stuff back to order. Again, my person spoke about earlier, free will, allowing others to do them. Do you, boo, without looking to change someone. This is how that third chakra comes in. A lot of us use this third chakra, anger, liver, the emotion and the organ. We want to change something. We don't like it. We got to change it. Rah, rah, rah. My person's affirmation here is, how am I using my inner chi to change self? My person has a list of things that okay, we got to work on this, work on self list. My person work on self list. So instead of looking to change someone else, my person says, how to change self. She matters to focus on self. They'll come up to this heart. Okay. This heart with the intention, the will. Leo, they say in the zodiac. The deity is Haru, Shango in Yoruba tradition. Nonetheless, I'm the more willing. What is my person's intention? And from here, we'll also like to associate Ma'at in a sense with the heart, because Ma'at looks at a deity, Kemet deity, looks at the interdependence of everything, compassion. Ma'at says we all connected, baby. So how does my person use its will, makes choices based upon the laws of Ma'at, nightly affirmations? Do we choose based upon how we felt emotionally because we wanted something? Or do we choose based upon the law of Ma'at because we know everything is connected together? And then we have the throat chakra, fifth chakra, right? So with this, my person looks at its belief. Mercury is the planet, communication, intellect, beliefs. So my person tells itself, first of all, what is it telling itself? Hence, the first communication is with self. So my person tells itself how it wishes to show up as itself. Hence, even master a shep. A shep is Kemetic, ancient Egyptian, means I am becoming. So hence, with master a shep, my person is simply saying, my person is mastering becoming who it came to become. And so this is why my person speaks as the way it does because of communication. My person says it has to speak what it believes to align this throat chakra. So there's no inner chi management. There's no stress and tension between thinking one thing and communicating something else. Throat chakra. Then we come up here to the sixth chakra, the brow chakra. My person says, well, insight. Tahuti, dwa utahuti. This allows us the ability to see things circumspectly. My person like to say, the reality of duality is bipolarity. There's a time and place for everything under the sun. War, peace, live, die. Everything. There's a time and place. So my person none of get caught up on one side of anything. My person uses affirmation here that says, everything comes from source. Everything comes from Mother, Father, God. It comes from God, Allah. It has to be here. So who am I to say, no, it shouldn't be here, it's wrong. There's a time and place for it. So my person looks for the other side, looks for the shadow, looks for what is unseen, looks for, okay, if it's not pleasurable, then there's another side still. And seek to understand, then to be understood. And all by get understanding. So once my person has an understanding, well, again, affirmations about there's always two sides, always two sides, always two sides. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, they say, when it comes to one side. Because the only one reality is that all that exists is God, is energy. And this energy can manifest in an infinite number of ways. When it comes to the crown chakra, affirmation crown chakra, we have the ability as a child of God. You know, child is Mother Father God looked at as being omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. There's a part of us. We have the potential to be omnipresent. You know, everywhere, connected to everything, to be able to feel, experience everything in creation, not just from our offspring. You know, children that we may have. Some of us have children. There's a certain connection. You know, something can happen. You feel the pain. An offspring, a sibling, you know, a life partner. We can be so close to people, like lifelong spouses, that if something happened, we can feel the pain. That's how much connection we have. You know, trees, animals. So when we all get glimpses of this connection, my person reminds itself through this crown chakra affirmation that yes, heart chakra, we are one, and how to understand the connection that we are all one. So, in a nutshell, these are the affirmations that my person used for each energy center to help to assist my person with less energy leakages, right? And to build up this energy. Because in a nutshell, we're saying that we're harmonizing these chakras so that they're harmonizing and building up his own energy in a nutshell. So, again, that's the thanks.
All right, a chef. That is some you just gave a plethora of information and going from we needing that sleep to replenish our energy to not giving too much of our energy away to other people and to the chakras and woo, that is just a mother load of information about energy from a metaphysics perspective. And we want to hear a little bit from Precious Mother Love as well. She's going to give a little bit, we did touch a little bit on the nutrition part too, and I believe she has some information to share related to the foods that also affect our energy.
Top of the
Precious
day,
Mother
Clarice.
Love.
Thank you very much. One love and wellness, everyone. Okay, so speaking of the food part of it, most of the lower animals, they innately know what to eat for what season. And, we're supposed to be the intelligent beings. Can you hear me properly? Because my mic is a little doing something different.
Yes, we can hear you just fine. We can hear you pretty
I
well.
just tangled it up. Okay, so they know, the animals innately know what to eat when, what season, and so on. And, we're supposed to be the intelligent beings, and we aren't even paying attention to, say, for instance, the summer. This is the summer. So there's a season for certain organs. The summer season is for the heart and the small intestines. And then, the heart is also involved in the fire element, which is the heat from the summer. And so we'll eat more cooling foods in the summertime. And cooling foods are usually things that aren't cooked, fresh, live energy is prevalent in our fruits and our vegetables during the summertime. We eat a lot of salads, we eat a lot of fresh fruits, fruit salads, whatever else, however else we indulge in the summer's plentiful fruiting or harvest from our early, spring plantings. But the heart is also the organ that moves the chi. So the summer is really the busiest time for the chi. The heat, it also starts at our base chakra, the red color, which is for our base or root chakra. And that actually, our blood. Now, I want to speak to the spelling of some words because I think this relates to what I'm about to share. Alchemy to me is all chi me. I am all chi. Qi gong to me, because I look at the words and the way the words sound, means I am ringing the gong for the chi. Chi the gong the chi. That's me. That's how I think. But when you start looking at definitions of things, then that could also be very possible. Because also chi, is pronounced key, which is also spelled qi. So all key me, whichever way. So But our heart, the heart is the organ that starts the processing of the chi, even though the lungs breathe it in. And by the way, wearing those masks limits the quality of the chi that you'll receive. So you have to make sure that you remove your mask often enough, if possible, in increments if you have to have it on all day, because you're robbing yourself of the potential receiving of your chi. And the more your chi is not at the level it should be, let's, like you say, Master Chef mentioned the cell phone. I'll also mention the car. When your energy is low, one of the signs is you get sleepy. You want to take naps. You want to recharge and rejuvenate. But another way I have found to energize, and I'm going to mention several ways to do that, but another way to energize your chi is to, Dr. Africa said this: life cures life, or life begets life. So the more you're eating a live piece of fruit or a live piece of a live vegetable, you'll get the energy calories from that, whatever you eat, the live fruit or the live vegetable. In the winter or in the colder months, we eat warmer things. So, we'll eat some more of the cooked foods. That's also a time when, and I'm not a meat eater, but I listened to a master discuss this yesterday, and he said the winter is the time that you would eat more of the animal protein. I eat mostly vegetable based, so I get my protein in other ways. But it got me to thinking, just how essential, your elevation of certain things during certain times, certain seasons. You eat what's in season because that's going to give you the energy for the season. You eat, like I said, the animals innately have that knowledge. So now you have to pay attention to your body and or do some research, because there's plenty of resources. But the best research is to do it for yourself and find out what energizes you. For me, I have found a piece of fruit from time to time if I'm running low on energy. That's like me going to the gas station. That's like me trying to, put a little bit more into my tank. But I have learned so much about the chi. I mean, a chef said a lot of things that I probably would have shared as well. So I want to just kind of piggyback on a few things that I felt were key pieces. For instance, there are ways to observe your chi. I mean, there is a primordial force throughout all of us. We're all connected through the chi. The chi energy there's about 10 different main chi types. That's what I've learned. Then there are five that are like that most people are familiar with. The same way with your chakras. We focus on seven main ones, but we also have, as in acupuncture, acupressure. There are other vortexes all around your body that are centers for energy. And Master Shep, and I have to give him props for this. He came up with something called the heart touch therapy, which it actually helps to stimulate your chi, but it helps you to break down your blockages. So something that we can actually emulate on ourselves, similar to what he has in his practice, to energize ourselves or break some of the blockages. There's an exercise, and I just want to give a short demo of what that exercise is. But there's an exercise where you can increase your chi just by, because breathing, taking deep breaths, as Mama Elaine, that's her lane. And also, we have other breath masters that we're working with as a master chef. But we know that breathing in that life, breathing in that chi, sometimes you can go stand your feet on the earth. And that's Safan's lane. And she actually showed us and spoke on that in another episode. But Royal Reset, she gets to actually plant her feet in the earth. And earth is that's one of those five categories of chi that we recognize. So the earth is, let's say, 70% water. Our body is 70% water. You know about Dr. And I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but you know about that water can hold energy. And so water is considered like a conductor. That conductor that's within our body, or the flow that comes through our body, is our blood. So the chi is distributed through our body through not only our blood, but through our nervous system. And it also has, as I mentioned, specific pulse points on your body, acupressure points, acupuncture points, meridians that are vortexes of energy that you can, eh, depending on if you press it or, things like massages can also release some of that, which also will release toxins and blockages. I want to share something, my 5 words of wellness, because I never really related it to this in specific. This was something that the spirit moved on me and brought to me, and I have nurtured over the past year or so. It was given to me then. But my 5 words of wellness, I think, is also another way for us to energize our chi. The first word is hydrate. The second word is cleanse. The third word, and I change it sometimes, but allow or tune in or open up. The fourth word is attitude or altitude, or your attitude determines your altitude. And that's another way or another, that's the point at which you're able to control and manage your chi, because you've hydrated, which initiates the flow into your cleansing, which allows you to tune in and listen to the external messages, because you've cleared the flow, your clutter, the debris, the toxins are flowing out or moving. And then finally, once you're able to select, your altitude, how high will I go with this, how high will I resonate with this, how can I line up with what I want to resonate with. You select at that point, you set it, and then you forget it, and at that point it's just the flow. So some of the words that I will toss out there for, let's just say, the process of hydration. You want to drink half your body's weight in water in ounces. And that helps to initiate the hydration part process. You're watering things down, you're lightening up, you're balancing. You can also do a shower, because the shower, your largest organ is your skin. Another way to hydrate is, like I said, to have a shower. Um, you can use a hydration machine. You can do the facial with the hot steam on your face. Um, and then also, when you're moving into the place where you've saturated and you've hydrated enough, then you move into cleanse. And so for cleansing, that's the detox process. There are numerous ways that you can cleanse, not only your physical, but your spiritual. Um, So to detox, one way would be, and I provide this service, but the foot detox, the AquaChi foot detox. That is an ionic machine that pulls it from the 2,000 pores that's on your feet that you can use to cleanse. Now that'll cleanse your chi as well as each of your organs. And as you know, for reflexology, for your hand, for your feet, your organs are related through a highway of connections, the connections of your energy. So certain organs are connected. For instance, your small intestines and your kidney. I'm sorry, your kidney and your bladders, your bladder is connected. That is the winter organs, or the organs that are in season in the winter. um, for for the summer, as I mentioned, the heart and the small intestine. This is there in season. That's the season that we are minding our heart, and we're getting more exercise. The small intestine is the place where you process all of the energy, comes from there, as well as the nutritional value, which I want to mention. The nutritional value, if you don't get the proper nutrition from the food, it could be because your digestive tract isn't properly working. It could have been attacked. I mean, not attacked. So there may be some putrefaction because of stagnation. There may be some fermentation. Things like kombucha can help that. Probiotics, prebiotics, which is fiber, but probiotics is the kombucha or some of the tonics that you can get from. Now a lot of the stores are carrying more and more healthier items. But as I mentioned, I want to do this real quick exercise of how to move your chi. And I know you've seen this often enough where people do this. This is how, in the beginning of your qi gong, a lot of times you start like this. And one of the exercises that I do is I will put one hand at the base of my neck and one hand at the base of my back. Those are two areas where you have bigger pumps that pump the life force energy, the primordial force that comes through your spine. Your spine has a lot of that energy and that fluid in it. The base of your spine is pumping the energy that goes up to your brain, that energizes what's going on in the upper room or the upper atmosphere. And so, at the point where at the base of your spine, that energy is what's going to distribute throughout your organs. And so, from your neck to your navel or just below your navel are your main organs. Actually, that is where 70% of the water from our body is. That's 70% of where our body's energy is going to come from. Our blood uses a bit of alchemy, it transfers and utilizes the energy that we're when we're doing this and we do this, our blood is actually absorbing the chi that we're stirring up. And one of the other ways is to take a deep breath and go down. And that actually, you do that 9 times. You know, your hand up, your hand down, and you take a deep breath and you go down and scrunch. That stimulates energy in the middle. It gets all of your organs sort of hyped up, pumped up. You're pushing the pump, you're pumping your blood, you're pumping the energy through you, distributing it, balancing it, allowing a little bit of pressure to allow that energy to that might have been stagnant, that might have been, because of inactivity or sitting or whatever it is that you might be doing that's allowing it, if you don't exercise regularly, if you don't drink water regularly, the blood, the water that you drink helps to contribute to, like if you're not drinking enough water, you can't give blood because your blood won't be fluid enough in order for your blood to be exhumed from your body. So again, I spoke to my 5 words of wellness. I spoke to how you can stir up the energy and how to scrunch down. Now, you would do 4 sets of 9 of that, about 36. That's what the master that I was I allowed to mentor me a little bit indicated. So, that is another way to energize yourself. Or, as I said, you can eat a piece of fruit. You can, energize like that very quickly. Making sure that your blood is properly moving. As it moves, it is in alchemy. Alchemy.
Nice. All right, precious mother love. And we are coming to the end of our show now. So before we close out, precious mother love shared a whole lot of awesome information again about that energy and especially the movement of the hands. Um, that is definitely going to have things moving throughout the body. Real quick, before we close out, we have a couple of announcements. There's going to be a community empowerment herb walk by Dr. Yu and Ketnu in Baltimore coming up this Saturday, August the 8th at 10 a.m. Registration ends on Thursday, August 6th. For registration or more information, visit u360.com or inbox Dr. U at via Facebook. You can also text him. His number is 202-469-0264. And last but not least, please do be on the lookout August 21st from 3:30 to 7 with Precious Mother Love with the Inspire Box and Power Box donation collection of canned and non-perishable goods, as well as school supplies for children who are going to be starting to return to school. And on that, we at the Chi would like to thank everyone for joining us on the show today. Our next week topic is going to be on weight loss. So everybody please share and like the Collective Health Initiative page. Share with your neighbors, share with your friends. Join the group. We have a Collective Health Initiative group where you can also get more information about the CHI, the Collective Health Initiative. And thank you. We wish everyone peace, blessings, and wellness here on the health class you never
You
had.
never had.
And this is Clarice, your hostess for today. And yes, if you have any questions from any of the practitioners, any of the presenters today, please leave it in the comments on the Collective Health Initiative page. Thank you, everybody. And
Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. See you next week. One Love and Wellness.
again, everybody, remember to check our Facebook. I also forgot